Welcome to Category 5 Technology TV, episode number 447 for Tuesday, the 12th of April, 2016. So good to see you. I'm Robbie Ferguson. Help me welcome Sasha Dermatis.
Hello.
And way over there in the newsroom, I got to push the button over here, but he's over there. Jeff Weston, how are you?
I'm wonderful, and you?
I am doing well, and we are live on the air. Broadcasting live to the interwebs. We're going to tell you about some of the technical difficulties that we encountered in just a couple minutes' time. But on with bigger and better things. Tonight we are going to look at a new flash drive from a partnership between Kingston and ESET. We're going to plug this thing in. We've never done it before. We're going to see how this operates from an end-user perspective. It is meant to not only be a flash drive, but an encrypted flash drive so that your data is password protected.
No way.
And encrypted.
This is awesome.
And safe.
We like
And because of the partnership with ESET, if you plug it into a Windows machine that has viruses, it will not get the virus. That's what we're looking at.
Sweet.
We've got other stuff we're going to be looking at as well.
Yes, we're going to look at Ubuntu Mate.
Ubuntu
Mate.
I think it's Ubuntu Mate or Mate.
I know.
I think I'm on Mate tonight.
You're on Mate tonight. I'm on Matey because it sounds pirate-like.
We've got more information for you about the NetTalk Duo 2 that we are giving away. We've got a lot of these things to give away. It's basically, it's a device, but really what we're giving you is free telephone service with free international calling. So stick around, you're going to learn all about that. Over to the newsroom. Jeff, what is coming up?
All right, here's what's coming up at the Category 5.tv newsroom. Samsung has been granted a patent for smart contact lenses which contain a built-in camera. A gamer with cerebral palsy contacted Sony to report the trouble he was having with the new PS4 controllers, and one of their team custom built a revised one and sent it to him. And another Microsoft product has reached end of life, and the 1 millionth Lexus hybrid was sold this morning in Italy. And Google will now warn users when websites host deceptive social engineering ads. And get this, an out-of-date WordPress plugin is thought to be the cause of the now famous Panama Papers breach. Stick around, the full details are coming up later in the show.
This is Category 5 Technology TV. Starring Sasha Dermatis. And your host, Robbie Ferguson.
Welcome to the show, folks. This is... Nope. Just throwing you off.
I'm so confused right now.
All right, I'll start. Just because I remember Jody says this is Category 5 Technology TV. And I always say that. And so then when I post-produce it, it's like I'm just saying what she said. Yeah, what she said.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. That's how I need to come off the intro.
I just finished watching I binge-watched the entire Office. The Office. Not the British version, the Americanized version. So now I'm like a few years late, but now I've been saying that's what she said to absolutely everything.
And it sometimes works really, really well, but usually when it works really, really well, that's when my wife kicks me.
So it's not short weather yet because he's all full of bruises.
Yeah. Oh, how about that weather?
Yeah.
Not to digress. Speaking of weather, because this is a perfect segue, we had that terrible ice storm. It took out our internet a couple of weeks back, and we've had a couple of little issues here and there. And technically, we are actually without internet tonight.
However...
Figure that one out.
Yes. Tell us the story, Robbie.
Well, thanks to our good friend Debbie, who's been supporting the show for some time. I posted a plea on Facebook and I said, look, Bell is down again or still, or we don't know. I'm only here every Tuesday night and I can't spend 3 hours on hold with tech support. Tech support. We use that term loosely, support. So put the call out and said, we've got no internet. I've got this router. We could stick someone's SIM card in there, I thought, and we could get internet up and running at the studio so that we could do a live show. This is how committed we are. The thought crossed my mind, you know what? We're just not going to be able to do it. And then I realized, no. We're 447 weeks into this thing. We've never missed a week.
We do
it's
not
never
quit.
happened. We're not quitters. We are fighters.
That's right.
Put the plea on Facebook, and Debbie responded and said, "I've got an iPhone. Would that help?" I said, well,
Yes.
I don't know, but definitely the chip that's inside of that iPhone might help. So I took the chip out, and so I went there and borrowed the chip. And so I put the chip into one of these little nano SIM adapters
Right.
that convert it to a normal size SIM. And you remember seeing this on the show when I did a demonstration on how to crack a Samsung Galaxy phone.
Yes.
And plugged it into the router, and the router said that the router is Bell only. And so I need to have a code in order to unlock the router. It wouldn't take the SIM because it was a Rogers SIM.
Right.
Different ISP. So I'm going to do that because we want to get onto a different ISP. So I'm going to crack that router and figure that out.
Right. Jailbreak
So-
or whatever they call it.
Not even a jailbreak, just unlocking it. Sometimes internet service providers will lock a phone to themselves.
Okay.
So that you can't switch easily.
Right.
So if you've bought your phone through Bell,
Right.
and you try to switch to Rogers, these are two wireless carriers here in Barrie, Ontario.
I feel like maybe the only
The big
two.
ones. Well,
Yeah.
they're the big ones, and everyone else is really just reselling their towers, essentially. So if you tried to switch from one to the other, you're basically ending up buying a new phone, which means you're probably going to end up going on a new contract, because not a lot of people know that, hey, you can actually unlock that thing. Might cost you $25 or so to get the code,
Right.
but you're going to be able to do it. That's what we're going to do to the modem. We're going to get onto a different provider. So tonight, through the wonders of Debbie's loaned SIM card, now I put the SIM card in my BlackBerry. So we found out today that BlackBerry actually still has a use, Jeff.
Nice.
I figured it out. BlackBerry has
You keep losing all functionality with your BlackBerry. Everybody's dropping it, but Cat
but it
5
still has
can use
tethering.
it.
It still has tethering. So get this, folks.
Oh, sorry.
go
I
ahead.
almost thought, okay, I was like, oh, maybe I could do this. I have 6 gigs of data on my phone.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I can be one of these people.
So we would use like about a third of your entire month's
Right.
bandwidth in one day.
Right. And I was thinking maybe I could be that girl. Nope, my phone died.
No way.
Yeah. I read that message at 13%. That was early this morning. So I was
Well,
like,
luckily-
I actually can be no help.
Luckily, it is literally just the little chip that we need. So in order to broadcast, because we have all the hardware, we've got a special LTE modem here, and it's
Yeah.
this itty bitty little chip. This is
Right.
a SIM chip, and this
Okay.
then goes inside of an adapter, and the adapter then fits inside of our modem, and it makes it so that we have internet.
Okay.
This is what allows us to broadcast to the world. We have a tower across the street that is that the local ISPs rent space from, and that's where we broadcast to. We have a
Right.
little tower in our front foyer, and we broadcast. So needless to say,
We have internet.
we have internet.
Thank you, Debbie.
I put Debbie's SIM card into my BlackBerry because my BlackBerry service does not have LTE. It's strictly Wi-Fi.
Right.
Okay. So then through USB, I have now tethered the BlackBerry to your laptop.
Right.
Okay. So your laptop has a USB. No, pardon me. No. It has a Wi-Fi connection to the BlackBerry.
Because it's hotspot, yes.
The BlackBerry is set to hotspot mode. Then your laptop has an Ethernet cable. I don't know if you can see it, but in the very bottom right of your screen, that's an Ethernet cable coming out of that going into the router, which normally has our LTE service. I was able to set it to pull from Ethernet as opposed to from LTE. So now it's basically tricked our whole network into thinking that this laptop is the wireless internet provider.
I love this story.
All this before the show.
Wow. Jeez.
Took
You
about
must
an
have
hour
been.
to get up
yeah.
and running. But
How
so-
much deodorant did you put on today? You must have been
Oh,
sweating
man.
and stressed and.
A little bit of, I don't know that stress is the word. It's more like I kind of felt like we were going to have another one of those. We had one a couple weeks ago where we just had no internet in the studio. You remember, Jeff, you were here co-hosting with me. And that hurts when we can't broadcast live because we love to be able to do that for you.
I can't
And-
imagine not having the chat room. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I know, and
you
it
guys
is
are
tough.
great. I don't
We
want
do
to,
our
like,
best,
but,
sure.
like, I don't know that it
The
would
show
be the
must
same
go
without.
on is the opinion, right?
Right.
That's the attitude that we have to have.
I mean, they all have each other, but then I couldn't tap into the fun.
Yeah. So tonight's a madness. So our router is literally just piggybacking off of a Wi-Fi connection on a laptop going out to all of our computers. And we're streaming live HD.
Yay.
And it's fantastic. And thanks to Debbie for lending us her SIM card.
Thank you, Debbie. Okay, Category 5.tv is a member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. cat5.tv/TPN and the International Association of Internet Broadcasters, which is cat5.tv/IAIB.
Nice. How you been?
I've been great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm happy.
You're here on a Tuesday night.
Yes.
The chat room is wondering, how are you here on a Tuesday night? You work Tuesdays.
I'll give you the Coles notes.
Okay.
I work every Tuesday from 6:30 in the morning till 9 at night, without fail.
Oh my.
Except that my boss, who is an amazing father, I will tell you, his boys are in hockey tryouts and he doesn't want to miss them. So
Aw.
he's cut my shift short so that he can leave to go see his son's tryout for hockey.
Are you serious?
And by cut short, I mean instead I worked 6:30 in the morning till 9 at night yesterday. So I don't lose hours.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I do lose sleep.
So they basically moved your Tuesday to Monday.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That works out well for us and for the rest of the world.
So I suggested, let's do this every week. And he said, next week too.
Wait, hold on.
So-
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hockey tryouts? This is like the second time I've heard this. I'm just clinging to the fact, isn't hockey season ending?
No, this is Canada, Jeff. Hockey season is all the time.
This
Well, I
is-
realize we just had
Basically.
fourth winter, and we
Yeah.
might have a fifth one
Second
coming.
breakfast,
It's
fourth
coming,
winter.
Yeah.
But isn't hockey done?
Okay, so it turns out if you're driven and in Canada, hockey is huge.
It's our national currency.
It's yeah.
we trade
pay
in
in,
pucks.
yeah, we
If
pay,
you-
pay in hockey pucks. We pay for our Tim Hortons with hockey pucks.
Right. So at the end of the regular hockey season, you try out for the next hockey season for
Wow.
rep hockey. So this is like the path. Like there's fun Tim Hortons like house league hockey, and then there's like super competitive lose sleep, wake up at 4 a.m. hockey. That's the kind that these boys like. I'm
See,
more
that's,
like
that's
wow.
the kind of sports that I'm allergic to. Anything that requires losing sleep, I just can't do. I'm
Yeah.
allergic to those.
Yeah, the kind of sports that I'm allergic to, you had me at sports.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like, you know what? I like physical activity, like sports activities where I don't realize what I'm doing. Like I like riding my bike because I'm distracted by the pretty trees.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So
I do enjoy
the
biking.
burn of my lungs and the sore legs and stuff. But I'm not
So
really noticing.
Why not just become a professional chess athlete?
A chess athlete.
Yes. Because, chess players are athletes now. So you could do that.
Is it
Darts.
in the Olympics?
Dart throwers, darters, dart players, darts is a sport.
Is that a
It's
sport now?
Well, it's on the Sports
Badminton?
Network. I feel like,
No offense to all the badminton players who are watching
or
tonight.
the dart throwers.
But it doesn't strike me as quite as much of a workout as, say, football or...
Right. I
Hockey.
think darts is only a sport if there's a defense player.
So
You have to-
somebody needs to
That's a poor
stand in
bloke.
front of the board, is what
Oh.
you're saying.
and swat at darts, and
Yeah.
then it's a sport.
Okay. all
Okay.
right.
I've seen that done.
It's
You have?
Yep. I've seen a guy take a dart. It's not
Oh,
pretty.
dear. Doesn't sound too
I feel
good
like it makes
at
it-
all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, it's time to show Category 5 TV some love. If you've got just 25 cents and you think this episode is worth 25 cents of your hard-earned cash, well, please throw some in our Patreon tip jar. Head on over to patreon.com/category5. I want to say thanks to those who have already captured the vision. We have somewhere in, I won't even touch numbers because I don't have them up on my screen, but we're on our way there. We need to be able to raise $250 per episode for Category 5 TV Network because that's what it costs to run it.
So that's like a break-even point.
Every single episode costs us $250, and that's what it boils down to. So until we reach that point, we're not breaking even.
Right.
And so that pays our rent, that pays for internet, and keeps us up and running. So we appreciate everyone who has supported us so far, and we thank you if you're considering heading on over to patreon.com/category5 and supporting us in that way.
Awesome.
Hello to our chat room.
Oh, talking about the hockey religion.
They on about it?
They're on about it. Curling, hockey. Evidently, Nate UK says that darts is a sport.
Oh, it is now.
It is a
All right.
sport.
I got it.
I don't know.
Cool. I'm not sure. It looks like we are having some internet trouble. So for those of you who are seeing me on demand going like this, it looks like we are indeed having some trouble with that fandangled internet connection.
Oh, no. That's okay.
You're disconnected.
I'm disconnected.
I'm disconnected, and we're losing connection. So if you we're watching live and now you're watching on demand, we apologize for that, and we're going to keep trying to gain a connection here. But I can't be too sure while we're live what's going on.
What exactly has happened?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the BlackBerry.
Could be the BlackBerry. Let's take a quick boo.
Okay. In the meantime, while you're doing that quick boo, can you tell me about the Pixel Shadow episode?
Yeah, well, we had a really adorable episode of the Pixel Shadow this week, and if you haven't seen it yet, go to mindtest.tv. My kids are involved in this show where they teach how to use Mindtest, the game. And my youngest, who's only 5 years old, went on and did the show this past week.
Your 5-year-old plays Mindtest?
He plays Mindtest, and he actually now teaches it because he did an episode of the Pixel Shadow. So it's absolutely adorable. He taught how to build self-propelled roller coasters. He's 5. But I think it goes to show, and the reason that we're doing this whole mindtest.tv thing is it goes to show that the enjoyment factor and the learning and the educational factor of it spans everything from 5 years old all the way up to myself at 29, for example.
Or me at 21.
Yes. Let's take a look at our internet connection, see what's going on here. But it is cute, man. Head on over to it at mindtest.tv. Internet tethering, mobile hotspot, says you're connected, and you're connected over here.
Let's just see here.
BlackBerry, connected and secure.
So, why am I not in this chat room?
Let's see. The joys of live broadcasting. We'll fill the whole hour trying to figure out, hey, can we get internet?
Can we get this show? Yeah.
Isn't this funny, though, that technology is such that, and I've got Google here.
Right.
That's the ultimate test is whether you can bring up Google. Now, can you bring up Google on your computer now?
That's do not the question. Know. Let's see.
But isn't it interesting that we live in a technological world where we'll go to google.ca. You're looking at, that's just the splash screen of the browser. So there you go. And hit enter. And does it come up? This site can't be reached. There is no internet connection. That's what Sasha Dermatis is getting. So let's take a look here. So,
I like this T-Rex.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's cute.
I saw somewhere on Facebook it said, if you're ever having a bad day, try and picture a T-Rex making a bed. And then they had a picture, and the T-Rex's head was
Sounds tough.
Yeah, you try to put on a fitted sheet as a human with regular length arms.
Hey, look at us.
Could you imagine being a T-Rex?
And let's see if I can go live at the same time. I've got the stream back up and running. So so we learned about a T-Rex who makes a bed.
I know, it was a cute
And
Facebook
you've got Google
thing.
up and running.
That means I also have the chat room?
Yeah. Well, it'll take a second to reconnect, but here it comes. I meant to say, technology is such that we're able to piggyback off of that, which is connecting to a tower somewhere across the way, and is broadcasting, even though, we've got a couple of problems here and there, but will broadcast. Oh, look at that. Mode +O. Sasha D, you can say hello.
There we go.
Look at you go. And I'm going to get back into the chat room as well. Don't we have some fun?
Sasha, do you have hotkeys for the chat room?
Hotkeys?
Or did you actually type that out?
No, I typed that out.
She was waiting to hit enter, and it was...
She logs in, and all I heard was one click of the keyboard, and all of a sudden this message pops up. I'm like, you've got pre-selected messages? You cheater!
Everything I say is genuine.
Absolutely.
I don't have those weird, the
Even
weird...
that.
There we go.
All right, should we jump into this little guy here?
Yes.
And see what this does? This is the Kingston Data Traveler Vault Privacy 3.0, and it's also powered by ESET. And you can get this in our shop. It's shop.category5.tv. It has 256-bit AES encryption. And Sasha, because we've never done this, I thought, hey, you know what? It'd be nice just to plug it in and see how this thing works.
Okay.
And I suppose because you're going to set a password, you can take it home with you and it's yours. So
what?
There you go. It's a flash drive that's encrypted. So let's look at the specs. USB speeds. Remember I mentioned I carry USB flash drives with me all the time, and unfortunately my pocket is empty because it's currently plugged into the server up here. But this one, the first thing that I always check is the speed. So it says USB 3.0, 165 megabytes per second, and 22 megabytes per second write. Okay, so it's very, very fast to read. It's quite slow to write. So if you're throwing a lot of stuff on here, it's probably going to start to crawl.
Okay.
But if you're loading stuff off of here, it's super fast, 165 megabytes per second. So it's a little deceiving when you see something that, it's USB 3. Is it really super fast? No, it's actually just 22 megabytes per second writing to it.
Right.
But the download speed is very fast. So you got to look at, a data traveler with encryption. What's it for? It's not for saving movies onto it.
Right.
It's not for saving huge, massive files. Like what I do is I copy big video files from the show, transfer them to USB flash, take them home, upload them to the internet for you at home to be able to view them. And so my use case is different than what this is meant for. You think about it. Okay, so it's got slower write speed and it's encrypted.
Right.
Documents, pictures. What else would you want to encrypt? Your financial spreadsheets.
That's true.
Anything that has to do with anything personal, this is the one that you want to use for that.
So could I use that as a backup?
If you wanted your backup to be encrypted, then yes. Mm-hmm. And it's probably a good idea. Certainly, for example, my wife is a good example. Becca's a great example. Because she's an author, she wants to be able to keep copies on a USB flash drive of her novels.
Right.
Because it's a backup, so that it's in her purse at all times. But what happens if her purse gets stolen? It's got her novels on it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of proprietary to have the actual master files. Pardon me. So it'd be nice for her to have the encrypted flash drive. So I take it back. I'm gonna give this to her instead.
You ought to.
I know.
Now
I know.
Yeah.
Now, Robbie,
because I'm not gonna write a book.
Yeah.
We have an encryption question from the chat room. They're wondering: is it hardware encryption or is it software encryption?
This is in fact software-driven encryption on this device, and so when we plug it in, we're going to see that take effect. So Sasha's going to do that, and the antivirus, of course, is software as well. Mm-hmm. It's a fairly small drive. It's only 8 gigabytes in capacity, and my smallest drive that I carry with me is 32. So it's smaller, but 8 is still quite large when you consider the use case. We're not plugging a bunch of 4 gigabyte movies onto this.
Right.
They are going to be doc files where you can fit thousands and thousands of them on this amount of space.
Panama Papers.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We'll get to that. Maybe encryption would have been a good idea. Duh. Yeah. All right. Anyway, here you go. You've got a laptop right here. I've already got it plugged into HDMI so that we can bring up your screen.
How do I open this?
I cut around the edges for you.
And still I struggle.
Yeah. It's a sleek little device. First impressions of the device itself.
Feels nice.
Mine is not, nice, yes. It feels solid.
Yes. Really
hardcore. Mm-hmm. Like you could throw that off of your boat and it might or might not float. I don't know. Should we test that? It doesn't feel like it's breakable at all.
No, it feels fairly Sasha-proof.
Now, is it Linux compatible? Like, will it work on Linux as well, or is it designed for a Windows machine?
This particular device, because it has the ESET software. Oh, you've plugged this in. So it's probably...
sorry.
Is it? No, that's great. It says it's detected a DVD RW drive. So I see it down at the bottom right there.
Yeah.
Jeff, to answer your question, it works on Windows, Mac, and Linux.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, so the encryption features work on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So you've got encrypted file storage. Now, theoretically, viruses are really only a problem for your Windows computer. So if I plug that into a Windows computer, I need to be concerned about, well, what if that computer has crypto ransomware on it? If I plug in my flash drive, that virus will now encrypt and destroy the files on my flash drive. That would suck. So what this does is when you plug it into a Windows system, the ESET antivirus protection kicks in and says, okay, no viruses can get through this kind of firewall to this drive. So it's almost as if there's more feature set for the Windows use, but it works across the board. Mac, Windows, Linux.
Okay.
But as a Linux user, I'm going to use it. My wife is also a Linux user. She's going to plug it into her Linux machine to copy her book over to it. But then if she ever plugs it into, say, her sister's Windows laptop and it has a virus on it, she is also protected from that, in addition to the encryption.
Okay, so if I were to, I use Windows at work, but
Yes.
Linux at home.
Good example, yeah. So if you had a virus come through the office, the antivirus from ESET will protect that flash drive. Not the system. It doesn't protect the system.
No.
Okay? It's specifically, it's a firewall on, and just to use a loose term, it's not actually a firewall. It is a wall that stops the viruses from getting into that flash drive.
Right, so if I'm working on something at work, I want to bring it home to my laptop to work on it. I'm good and safe.
Yeah. And your Linux system will be able to decrypt the files even though you set it up on your Windows machine and so on.
Right.
Okay? And files, I say that again loosely as well because it's really the whole partition is encrypted and hidden until you've entered the password. So when someone who's malicious plugs that into their system because they don't have the password, they don't even see anything.
Right.
They don't even see like a D drive or anything like that.
They're like, oh, this thing's broken.
Yeah, it's broken. Whatever. So, because that's exactly how hackers sound and thieves. Like, what? I don't even
understand this.
I don't know.
Kingston.
Stole this drive and it doesn't even have anything on it. Okay, so could you bring up computer? This is Windows 10 on the laptop. So click on the little Windows thing over there.
Okay. And then
down at the bottom. Yeah, there's File Explorer there. I'm pointing. Here
I don't even know
See
what I'm doing.
File Explorer down at the bottom?
This?
No, up. File
Explorer. Oh, the
there
one
you
that
go.
says File
And,
Explorer?
Yes, and go to that DVD drive on the left, DVD RW drive. See, it thinks that it's actually a DVD drive. It's not. Down, down, down.
Oh, here.
DVD RW drive. It's actually a flash drive.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now now we're on Windows, so we can click on the exe, the executable, DTP30 launcher.exe, but you see there's also Linux and Mac in there.
Yes.
Okay, so here it goes. Data Traveler Vault Privacy with antivirus.
I like this.
Okay. So you notice that it's not giving me a flash drive anywhere. It's only showing as a DVD RW drive. Now, this is the first time we've ever connected it to a computer. So it's asking us, hey, we've got to set it up.
I need to read all this.
Yeah, Sasha read it for you, so she's going to accept
There
it.
we go. Next.
So this password is not your Windows password. This is not the password for your email. This is not your password for ESET. This is what you want to set your password to in order to gain access to the drive so that you can copy files to, from, or however. Sasha's going to enter that top secret password now.
I don't need a hint, do I?
A hint? It doesn't
No?
look like you
Okay, good.
need one, no. So,
I don't need any of the rest of that.
looks good. That's kind of contact details so that if someone finds it. So now it's actually creating a partition. See how F suddenly popped up there?
Right.
Format complete, okay. And now try to bring up that F drive.
Down in here?
Well, hit a OK to finish the
Okay.
process. There we go. Now, oh, there it goes. It's already opened it up. So now Kingston has this F drive.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So right click on, well, you know what I'm going to do? If I may, let's just grab, I've got a folder here that's our Nikon firmware for the cameras here at the studio. I'm just going to throw those on to there. See, it is pretty zippy.
It's
Not bad. And let's unmount that. So eject, and then eject the, oh, it already got rid of it. There we go. So Sasha, I guess now if you were to unplug, what does this say? End user agreement, drive security check. Oh, well, we'll definitely.
Please read this carefully before using the protocol. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, my firstborn child?
This is the antivirus app.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to accept that. It's throwing some stuff onto your computer. Okay, so as soon as that's done, Sasha, we're going to, because this is the first time, again, we've plugged it in, so it's got to kind of go through the motions of setting up the partition, setting up the antivirus and all that. Then we're going to disconnect it completely and plug it back in and see what happens.
Okay, so while this is happening, should we zip on over to the news?
I agree. Jeff Weston.
Yes, sir.
Over in the newsroom. And we'll come back to, we're looking at the Data Traveler Vault Privacy 3.0 from Kingston and ESET. It has antivirus for Microsoft Windows and data encryption and decryption for Windows, Linux, and Mac systems. You want to check this thing out? We're going to come back to it in just a couple moments' time. Over to the newsroom, Jeff.
All right, it's Tuesday, April 12th, 2016, and here are the stories we're covering this week. Samsung has been granted a patent for smart contact lenses which contain a built-in camera. And a gamer with cerebral palsy contacted Sony to report trouble that he was having with the new PS4 controllers, and one of their team custom built a revised one and sent it to him. And another major Microsoft product has reached the end of its life. The 1 millionth Lexus Hybrid was sold this morning in Italy, and Google will now warn users when websites host deceptive social engineering ads. And an out-of-date WordPress plugin is thought to be the cause of the Panama Papers breach. These stories are coming right up. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Robbie Ferguson, and I love being a Vimeo Pro member. As a web broadcaster, I need an affordable video hosting platform that's as flexible as me. A Pro membership lets you upload up to 20 gigabytes of HD video each and every week with no additional bandwidth restrictions. That means if you produce a show that uses even up to 20 gigabytes of storage, your limit resets itself the following week, so you can do another 20 gigabytes. And keep doing that week after week. Now, Category 5 with all of our shows use roughly 10 gigabytes per week. From there, Vimeo automatically generates all the files that you need to provision your RSS feeds, Roku channel, website media player, or even video downloads in multiple bit rates, with no limits on your bandwidth usage or how many people can access your files. What's best? The price is astonishingly affordable. And for a limited time, friends of the Category 5.tv network will receive a whopping 25% off the annual price. All you have to do is go through our link, cat5.tv/Vimeo, and sign up today for your 25% discount. To top it off, you get 30 days to try it risk-free. If you're not happy with Vimeo Pro, you pay nothing. The deal is only for a very limited time. Go to cat5.tv/Vimeo.
I'm Jeff Weston, and here are the top stories from the Category 5.tv newsroom. In the future, we could all be wearing smart contact lenses like the ones secret agents use in movies. Samsung has been granted a patent in South Korea for contact lenses with a display that projects images directly into wearers' eyes. A built-in camera and sensors are controlled by blinking. Embedded antennas then beam content to an external smartphone-like device for processing. According to the report, which comes from Samsung-focused blog Sam Mobile, Samsung started developing smart contact lenses as a means to create a better augmented reality experience than the ones that exist through Google Glass like wearables. Smart contact lenses would allow AR to be projected right into the person's eyes and be more invisible at the same time. The blinking input isn't entirely out of the realm of possibility. There was a feature in Google Glass that lets users take pictures with a wink. Although a more sensible and less awkward-looking feature might be to use a smartphone as a touchpad to move around the interface. By contrast, Google owns 2 patents for smart contact lenses with flexible electronics and sensors that read the chemicals in the tear fluid of the wearer's eyes to determine if blood sugar levels have fallen to fatal levels. Interestingly, though, Samsung applied for this smart contact patent in 2014, the same year Google received patents in the US for its smart contacts. They're laughing at me. I
No,
swear
not
what's
you.
going on.
you.
We need a digital contact lens to tell
Wait.
us if we're dead.
Okay, I thought the same thing, but I'm trying to maintain composure.
Fatal.
And you two are laughing over here.
Fatal, fatal levels. Your eyeballs will tell you when you are dead.
Fantastic. I spent
Lovely.
$200,000 on these smart contact lenses so I can know when I'm dead.
My blood sugar tells me when I get a little bit hangry, but these guys will tell me when I'm right at the end. Muscle through it, Sasha.
Fantastic. I do like Samsung's idea, though, where it projects a screen in augmented reality. That makes more sense to me.
It's true, and it's funny. As I'm reading the story, I'm thinking of that Star Trek episode where everybody had those glasses
The game?
that took over the crew, where
The
like
game.
the tubes popped up. And,
Yeah.
So I'm, could you just? I mean, we're distracted enough by our phones. Could you imagine looking at somebody, say on the subway or on the bus, and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they're like,
Wait, what about people driving? This is a bad idea. All of a sudden, a horrible idea.
it's
No.
a hands-free device.
I need to clarify here. Imagine augmented reality where it protects you from stuff. You can see things happening before it happens. There's a pedestrian about to walk across the street. You don't see them, but your augmented reality glasses do, and they highlight them and warn you that, hey, this person's about to cross the street.
So essentially, we're just
And-
turning life into a game of Doom.
No, you're not
wait.
supposed to take them out. It's supposed to save them.
Okay. This
Makes
is
sense,
good.
right?
Yes, no, this is perfect. Okay. I like it now. Way to glass
Oh, okay.
half full that.
Did I change you that quickly?
So the police could wear them, and then they would be able to see if you were texting and driving?
I think so.
Like-
Yeah, that's the game.
Or if you were, of course, playing the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, there's those apps for like your iPhone or whatever where it's like, oh, aliens are attacking, and it activates your camera, but you see the aliens flying in. Could you imagine those kind of things with the contacts, and you got to blink to like shoot? But as you're driving,
Oh, yeah.
suddenly an alien spaceship flies in. That'd be kind of trippy.
But it could also be kind of, you're in a pub, as a single person, and you're looking at somebody.
That's what Sparkly Balls is saying. Yeah.
Right? To think
How
you're
can
trying
you-
to
Oh, I'm
How
sorry.
can
Do
you
you have
tell?
a Twitch? No, I'm taking your picture. I'm downloading your Facebook profile.
I'm back to not liking this idea again.
Sorry.
It's all about full circle.
So
stuff.
Can you
so
can you get
wishy-washy.
it? Wait, can you get them like to prescription, or would I have to wear contacts and glasses?
Listen, we don't want to deal with your prescription issues. This is all about invasion of privacy and taking pictures of people.
It's about recording every moment of everything.
It's like the Truman
I feel
Show or
bad for the
something.
person who's a
Yes,
chronic
yes.
blinker with like dry eyes. Their hard drive space is just going to be full.
Jeff, if they have dry eyes, there is a contact lens for that will tell them when they're dead.
Oh my goodness, we're never going to get through the news.
Story number one.
Story one is down. All right, moving along. On to story number two.
All right, a 22-year-old gamer with cerebral palsy has received a PlayStation controller especially adapted for him by a Sony employee.
This is cool.
Yeah, it's a very neat story. Peter Byrne, I don't know.
I'm gonna go with Byron.
Sure, Byron.
Sure.
He contacted the firm as tremors caused by his condition meant he kept hitting the standard controller's touchpad, causing the games to pause. Now, Alex Nawabi from Sony's marketing team said that he would investigate this. He then modified a DualShock 4 controller himself and sent it to Mr. Byron as a surprise. On the bespoke version, the touchpad has been disabled and its button rerouted to the back of the device. Now, in a letter to Mr. Byron, who lives in New Jersey in the U.S., Mr. Nawabi said it took him around 10 hours and 3 attempts to create the solution. He said he'd undertaken the work on his own initiative and told Mr. Byron it would not be covered by warranty. Go figure. You need that legal clause. He wrote, "I'm not 100% sure how long it will last, as it's the first time I've ever done anything like this." He went on to say, "I have plans to build you one more controller in case this one breaks, but I'd like feedback on this one first." Mr. Nawabi added that Mr. Byron's email had struck a chord with him. "It killed me," he said, "how something you used to enjoy thoroughly was being ruined because our new controller design." Mr. Byron said he was delighted with his new controller, and he told the BBC, "Honestly, I expected them just to make a note of my issue and say, we'll address this in the future. It looks very good so far. I've had no problems, and gameplay has been fine. I love stories like this.
I love
Fantastic.
this. And you know what? Just in time, because Dark Souls 3 was released today for PlayStation 4.
There you go.
I couldn't go a day without saying that. You know.
She was waiting for an opportunity.
Yes.
Jeff.
So,
Sorry.
no.
Oh,
Jeff.
awkward.
What did I do? What did I do?
I was going to say what I love about these kind of stories and what's happened here. First of all, this guy needs a raise because
Yes.
I am a firm believer in being that kind of person that would say, you know what, I'm going to spend 10 hours to figure this out for this guy because I care, because I genuinely want to make it so that, hey, this product for the company that I work for is awesome for this guy.
Exactly.
If only we could all, like, there's a lack of this, I think, in society where, you know, people have a job and the job is paying the bills, but the job is just the job. And I really want to be the guy that I want to do the best that I can for the company that I work for and
Right.
be that, you know, like, let's do the best that we possibly can for the customer.
I feel like that's what this show is. I think you are
Sure
that
it is.
guy.
I sure try.
Yeah. I love this story too.
I do.
Thanks
See,
for doing the show, Rob.
And,
Hey,
and
has nothing-
maybe it's just
it's all about PS4.
I guess it's just the pessimist in me, but I'm sitting there going, okay, this guy's from marketing, so he's looking at this going, hey, this is a great opportunity
Yeah.
to market how amazing we are
Oh, sure.
to cater to people.
Right. Okay. It also is a great opportunity.
Marketing
right?
genius
But-
for one, but by helping someone.
Well, exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So if we can let's make marketing all about helping someone.
Sure.
Perfect.
Exactly.
The whole world is just solved, right, in that statement.
Maybe they could just put contact lenses in his eyes and he can blink the game through.
Have you seen how many buttons are on a PS4 controller?
There
There's
are
no way you
20.
can
We
blink
actually
that many
counted,
different
Jeff.
ways.
You and
Right.
I
Oh yeah,
we
that's
counted.
true. That was a. I think
that was
that
a
was a
PS3
PS3.
controller.
PS3.
That was a
they've added
PS3.
more. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there's
there's
a
more on a
touchpad now.
PS4.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But it's really cool. I
It
have a
certainly-
PS4.
You know,
Oh,
at
do you?
this rate,
Oh,
news is
yeah.
going to take up the rest of the show. All right.
Debbie's going to be, what? You told me 1.4 gigs. You used 5 gigs.
All right. For the sake of Debbie, let's move on. Microsoft has brought another popular product to close. Today sees the end of life for Microsoft SQL Server 2005, which, although dwindling in popularity, still holds significant market share. The official Microsoft statement reads, if you're still running SQL Server 2005 after the 12th of April 2016,
That's today.
you will no longer receive security updates. Now is the time to upgrade to SQL Server 2014 and Azure SQL database to achieve breakthrough performance, maintain security and compliance, and optimize your data platform infrastructure. Despite this, many companies have opted not to bother with the upgrade, not least because it's often difficult for the tech department to explain the need for new software bundles to the financial department, who doesn't necessarily understand what the product does. Now, many Microsoft customers have yet to upgrade from Microsoft Server 2003, which reached end of life in autumn last year. This leaves businesses open to attacks, which, interestingly enough, we'll talk to you about a little bit later. Earlier today, Toyota's luxury brand Lexus handed over the keys to a Lexus NX 300 to a customer in Milan, Italy. The customer in question, Mr. Aldo Perinello, for a fact I said it slower, becomes the 1 millionth person to choose a premium car powered by a combination of gas and electric motors since Lexus introduced its range in April 2005. The president of Lexus International said, we've set ambitious environmental goals for 2050, not 15, but 50, that's 2050. The popularity of the hybrid technology worldwide, it is extremely important to us to achieve these goals. I'm extremely happy that over 1 million customers worldwide have put their faith in our Lexus hybrid lineup. Hybrid power is seen as a key short to medium term solution within the auto industry for cutting dependency on fossil fuels and for lowering exhaust emissions, while alternative powertrain technologies, including fuel electric and hydrogen fuel cells, come online. Google
Jeff,
has reposted
Before we move on, can we say, are you as excited about the 1 millionth Lexus hybrid having seen Tesla's new release?
Look,
The number
I'm just excited to have power windows on my car, let alone an electronic vehicle. But I mean, the whole Tesla vehicle is pretty sweet. And for what, 35 grand? That's incredible.
And totally electric.
Totally electric,
And
I'm down with.
totally sweet.
Now, the
Yeah,
one thing I
now
didn't
if
find out, how
only-
long is the battery life on the Tesla?
Well, the idea is that they're also building. I don't know the answer to that, but I know that they're also building up the network of Tesla charge stations.
Right.
Don't we have some in Barrie?
We do actually.
Yeah.
South End of Barrie actually has several. I don't know what you call them, charging stations where you just plug in your car as you do your shop at Park Place. So
Can you also plug in your phone?
you could, through the lighter socket of
I
your
guess
Tesla while
plug
it's
everything
charging,
in.
right? Just plug it all in.
That sounds like the next avenue of broadcasting Category 5. We couldn't get the SIM card working today, but we're connected to the Tesla, which is connected to the car.
Yes.
Right.
I like it.
I,
Right.
I
just getting
love
complicated.
it.
Okay, Google has reposted information about a new security feature it began implementing earlier this year. It's expanding its efforts at keeping web surfers better protected from deceptive content online through an update to its Safe Browsing initiative. The search giant will now flag and warn users when they encounter websites with what Google calls social engineering advertisements. These ads that try to trick users into thinking they've received a message from a trusted entity, like a web browser notification, software update, PC error message, or the website itself, for example. Going forward, Google says that sites running these type of advertisements or hosting this content will now be flagged by Google, and visitors will be warned not to proceed. I love this feature. See this stuff all the time. Drives me absolutely nuts.
And it's a common thing that we talk about the crypto ransomware. This is the stuff that encrypts your files and makes it so that you have to pay in order to get your files back. And I see it. We had 2 come in today for service. One of them was on Facebook and clicked a link that somebody had posted, and that link led them to one of these websites.
Oh, no.
Well, because their browser is a little out of date or whatever it is, it got into their system. So
It worries me.
it's very frightful. So you can install Linux, or, hey, good for Google for trying to put a little bit of a stop to it in the search results.
Google's looking out for the little guy.
I think so.
Okay. This is the big news story
They're
of
making
the
a ton
last
of money
2
off
weeks.
the little guy.
Mosaic Fonseca. I don't know if I
Okay.
butchered that one or not. So moving forward, just call him MF.
Let's do that.
Please just...
We're going to call them the MF. They made some big mistakes. We're going to call them the MF from now on.
Oh, I just sense the chat room going nuts right
I know.
now. Okay.
Wow.
So
Thanks for that.
MF, the Panamanian law firm at the center of the so-called Panama Papers breach, may have been breached via a vulnerable version of Revolution Slider. The data breach has so far brought down the Prime Minister of Iceland and surrounded Russian President Putin and British Prime Minister David Cameron with controversy, among other famous public figures. If you read the news, it just goes on and on and on. It's the largest data breach to journalists in history, weighing in at 2.6 terabytes and 11.5 million documents. Forbes has reported that MF was giving their customers access to data via a web portal running a vulnerable version of Drupal. Now, we performed an analysis on the MF website and have noted the following. The MF website runs WordPress and is currently running a version of Revolution Slider that is vulnerable to attack and will grant a remote attacker a shell on the web server. Viewing this link on the current MF website to a Revolution Slider file reveals the version Rev Slider they are running is 2.1.7. Versions of Rev Slider all the way up to 3.0.95 are vulnerable to attack. It appears that MF have now put their site behind a firewall which would protect against this vulnerability being exploited. This is a recent change within the last month. I wonder why. A working exploit for this particular vulnerability was published in October 2014. To protect your WordPress installation, it is critically important that you update your plugins, themes, and core when an update becomes available. You should also monitor updates for security fixes that are given the highest priority. You can find out if a WordPress plugin includes a security update by viewing the changes in the changelog. In this case, the site owners did not update for some time, and it resulted in world leaders being toppled and the largest data breach to journalism in history. I don't even want to know who's working on IT for that MF website.
Oh my goodness.
But they are probably not going to be employed.
You're fired. You know what it is so many companies think that they can just deploy a website and WordPress is the quick and dirty way to do it, and then it doesn't get maintained. And that's why I promote maintained WordPress blogs. If you're going to have WordPress, I have a customer right now, not to name any names because it's completely, to be anonymous, but a customer who got a new website built for them. They are never going to update it. It's just a static website, but yet they installed it on WordPress just so that it'd be quick and dirty.
Right.
But now we've got a problem where, okay, if that doesn't get maintained, you are going to get hacked.
What about me?
Period.
What about mine?
I maintain your website for you.
I should probably do something
I
about
do that. Yeah, you should blog.
So I have a blog.
SashaDermatis.com. It's out there in the
It's out there. It's there. It's a blog and it's on WordPress. So
and it's WordPress, but we update it all the time and keep it up to date.
If you were not obviously my best friend of life, would I be infected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Affected too.
Affected and
Yeah,
infected.
absolutely.
Okay.
And Jeff, you said we discovered, I should just clarify, WordFence is a great tool that protects WordPress websites using security techniques, firewalls, and makes sure that, it notifies you if things fall behind as far as updates and things go. And it's available free. It's also available as a commercial product if you're using it for commercial use. And it was them that we were quoting there. They actually discovered this,
Right.
this being the exploit that may quite potentially have been used in order to obtain these documents. Huge amount of data. Huge.
It's funny. When I think about it, though, I can't help but wonder, did nobody in this massive law firm dealing with all these really big offshore companies go, do we need some sort of better protection? Did nobody think of this? You would think when you're lawyers dealing with legal documents that you would want to protect yourself. I don't know.
Oh, Jeff, I agree.
Anyway, this is what we called first world problems.
And this is why we bring up yet our second Star Trek meme of the night.
The double face palm. I cannot tell you how many times I've used that. So classic. All right, big thanks this week to Mark Monder, Roy W. Nash, and our community viewers for submitting stories to us. If you found a news story that you'd like to send, email it to newsroom@category5.tv. For all your tech news with a very slight Linux bias, visit category5.tv newsroom at newsroom.category5.tv. For the Category5.tv newsroom, I'm Jeff Weston.
Thanks, Jeff. This is Category 5 Technology TV. You're great. This is Category 5 Technology TV, and it's episode number 447. Welcome to the show. Sasha, before Jeff took over with the news, we were looking at this Kingston Data Traveler Vault Privacy 3.0 with ESET antivirus. Could we, you've got it all kind of done.
Yes.
It's ready to go. Could you eject that? So it's already ejected,
so I can just take it out?
You can just unplug that. Yeah,
Okay.
you can just unplug that bad boy.
Okay. And then
So it's done?
I'll cover it. Okay, this is something really important I have to tell you.
Yeah.
I now have this super cool thing.
Super cool.
Super cool, and you could too.
Could you plug it in?
Could I plug it back in?
Yeah, plug it back
Yeah.
in. Let's see what happens. It got the DVD drive again. So do you remember how to get in? So bring up, because I don't, yeah, you could click on where it says DVD.
I feel like,
click on it. There you go. And run DTP30 launcher.
Well, let's see.
And this time, because we've already done it, I assume it's going to just say, hey, what's your password? And let you in, right? Chat room. Hey, you want to say hi to the chat room. So now it's actually, this time it's asking you for your password, and it allows read-only mode. Fantastic. If you're plugging this into a, say, a library computer or something, you want to be able to open your files. Look at that. There's our Nikon D5100 firmware that I copied over there just before we disconnected it. So that's fully encrypted. Without that password, you can't open the vault.
Wow, I feel like James Bond.
Dun, dun. Dun, dun,
Just
dun,
without the guns.
Without the guns.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Okay.
You can get one of these from our website, cat5.tv/vault.
It's as simple as that, folks.
Vault. VAULT.
There it is. All right, check it out, folks. Okay, I know we're out of time, and the chat room saying, "Oh, I don't want the show to be over," so we're not going to end it. We're just going to keep going until Debbie's internet runs out. We can't actually, but the fact is, I wanted to mention about Ubuntu Mate 16.04. We've got Popey in the chat room, who is diehard involved in this project. Say hi to Popey in the chat room. Give him a congratulatory high five in the chat room. How's that? I don't know, like a slash and an O.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah.
Like that's like a hand wave, but it works. It works. And the distro is available for you. You can get it. Do I have the link here? I don't think I have it on my sheet. Could you bring up Google and do a search for Ubuntu Mate? I'm saying Mate. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this. It's basically, Mate is a fork of GNOME 2. Okay, so back in the day, 2004, when Ubuntu first came out, this is Linux, Ubuntu's Linux. And it was GNOME 2, which was a very popular desktop environment at the time. But then GNOME 3 was going to come out in 2011, and it was a real transition, a shift in the way the desktop paradigm worked. And so Ubuntu Canonical said, okay, we're going to do our thing. We're going to create this Unity interface.
Okay.
And somebody somewhere, and I don't know names, but I love you and I thank you, said, I ain't going out like that. Mm-hmm. I like that GNOME 2. I'm going to create a fork of GNOME 2, and it's called Mate.
Or Matey.
Or Matt.
Or Mate.
Bam!
I will name it a name that you will not be able to pronounce.
Potato.
So Ubuntu, is this ubuntu-mate.org? Is that looks like the one?
That's good. Okay.
And if you go to download, what do you see? Do we see
Down
the
here.
16.04 is the new release of... Do you see it there? No, it's still 15.10 on the website. So 16.04 is now in its beta 2. And it may be stable by the time you actually get this episode. But let's do a quick search for Ubuntu Mate 16.04. Let's force it. And there it is. It's /Xennial. And then you're going to get the version that we're looking at. Ubuntu Mate 16.04 is currently in beta 2, and it can be downloaded at that URL, ubuntu-mate.org/Xennial.
So awesome.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I have the wrong screen up. It gets confusing when I've got multiple. We don't usually have multiple computers. There it is. Okay, and that is the 16.04 release in its beta format. And so what that is basically the old desktop paradigm, which we're going to show you next week with what you see on my screen. So people say to me, hey, what distro do you run? Well, I'm running Point Linux, but it has that retro feel because this is Mate. And now...
Hold on, I'm going to interrupt you. For the record, we've been corrected by SoundPro69. It's pronounced Mate. According to
Mate, like latte?
on ubuntu-mate.org /blog/how pronounce -mate, it tells you how to pronounce.
And
Mate.
that's why we say Mate, because we are Canadian SoundPro 69. And so in a state of rebellion, we in fact say Mate or Matey or Matt, but we refuse to say Mate because there is a missing accent aigu on the E.
Is it not accent grave?
Can I call it
Oh, okay.
Maddie?
I'm going to call it Matt.
Maddie.
So it is a state of rebellion, my friend, that we refuse to say Mate.
Like,
because we are Canadian.
yeah.
And so
it doesn't look like it should be
right.
Mate at all. Sorry.
It's Mate.
Because it rhymes with A. Mate, A.
Yeah.
I think it's Mate because it's kind of a melding of the two versions.
They have mated.
That's right. It's Mate.
GNOME 2 has mated
Or
with the future.
they mate it.
Yeah. It
What's
made
that
it.
Lion King song about Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Sing it.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
No, we don't have. We do not have the royalty budget for that.
That's
right
true.
now.
We don't.
So, okay, so do check it out, ubuntu-mate.org. I'm not sure what state it's going to be in next week when we look at it. Sasha's going to be here. We are going to take an in-depth look. We're going to download it. We're going to install it, and we are going to try it. And the exciting thing about the current version is that it is long-term support. That means if you install it now, it is going to be supported for a very long time. So, check it out.
Do it.
That's all the time that we have tonight, folks. Jeff, so great to see you. Nice looking newsroom over there.
Thank you.
I
I
love
built it
it.
myself.
Yeah.
I miss the newsroom.
And the newsroom misses you, but we will have you right back here next week. Jeff, you are going on a trip, but you are going to be broadcasting the news for us. Is that right?
So next week, you're getting the news from Ontario, but the week after, you're getting Caribbean news.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. Where in the Caribbean are you going to be?
Someplace that is hot. No, we're taking my family on a cruise, and so we're going to be hitting Cayman Islands and Mexico.
Fantastic.
Nice.
So we're going to have the news from the Cayman Islands.
We
2 weeks
have
for that.
had the
2
news
weeks from
from
now.
Jamaica before.
Awesome.
What?
We did.
Well, it was a green screen. Little different.
This is legit.
This is the
Like
real deal.
ginger sunburn and all.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll
Cover
be
yourself
fun.
in paste, man.
That'll be fun.
All right, folks, have a fantastic week, and thank you for being here. Thank you again to Debbie for making the internet go. We're broadcasting live from this.
From a BlackBerry, Canadian company.
We won't even touch that. Let's just say we found the one thing it's good for. The one thing. Thank you, Debbie and BlackBerry and everyone else. Thank you at home for watching, and thanks for supporting us and watching the show. We'll see you next Tuesday night. Good night.
Beautiful.